Niffelheim is finally out of early access, now on all the big consoles at home. Let's drop into mythology and check out what going to Norse purgatory is like. You are a Norse warrior who is on his way to Asgard in your funeral ship, when all of a sudden you are dragged down by dark demons to Niffelheim. A grim and evil world where you must fight creatures to claim pieces to the portal to Asgard and make your way back to where you belong. The game is a 2D multiplayer survival dungeon delver that involves collecting resources from all over Niffelheim to build and upgrade your castle. You have 4 classes and areas to choose from that determine what traits you'll bring into this world and where you'll start. Now, I just want to say something right off the bat. This game is beautiful. I first noticed it with the loading screens coming in, depicting beautifully drawn, horrific creatures, but then it translated into the actual sprites of the game as well. The aesthetic of a cold, desolate plain is blended perfectly within the game. It was the first thing that caught my eye, and continued to deliver all the way through. The game is surprisingly simple to learn, with set places where you build your castle and workshops, and even when I was just starting out and running around, I was able to gather much of what I needed to get the basic materials to upgrade. Plus, you can have up to 4 buddies to play with you. I wasn't able to try this feature out for the review, but I can easily imagine me and my friends having a blast as each of us build up our castles to defend against skeletal hordes, and clear out vile dungeons to collect pieces to the portal to Asgard. When I started out the game, I found it a little difficult to navigate through, because the game mostly just drops you in. Now, this isn't to say there's no tutorial. In fact, there's a button specifically for the tutorial, but it's all text-based. Because it's a game about surviving in the tragic environment of Niffelheim, I think the game would be better off starting you in a test world to show you the basics. Needless to say, the game was simple enough to figure out, and that's where I think the game can also improve on. Compared to many other resource-gathering survival games, there's not much depth other than crafting bigger and stronger creations to help you out. And while you can hold your action buttons to continually mine or gather materials, I found that the movement control was a little bit sticky. Niffelheim is an absolutely gorgeous game that's simple to pick up and to play with your friends. I found it a slight struggle at first to understand the world, but as I kept playing, it became harder and harder to put down. Simplicity is a double-edged sword though, and the game might become a bit of a bore after a while. But as I rest on my skull throne, recounting the long dive into the grotto of an ancient snow troll, I think to myself, this cold, dark, unforgiving land has no mercy for me. But that does not matter, for I will forge my own path to Asgard. With my shield and axe by my side, I know that I can face the horrors of this world and ride back home with Odin's favor. So yeah, for Niffelheim, to get me so lost in Norse mythology I start monologuing, I score it a 7 out of 10. It was great. Niffelheim was published by Ellada Games. It is available on Windows, Xbox One, PS4, Switch, Linux, and Mac. Niffelheim was played on an Xbox One, and a review code was provided for this report. Until next time, play like a rogue.